Well, residents in parts of Gauteng have expressed frustration over water shortages, and they say that they have now seen taps run dry altogether. Rand Water has implemented Stage 2 water restrictions that have both affected people in Johannesburg and Tshwane. Let's speak now to the Metro's spokesperson. We're joined by Selby Bokaba. Selby, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome back to Daytime Update. Just how much pressure is the water system in Tshwane under?
Good afternoon, Tembi, and your viewers. The situation is quite dire. We've been constantly communicating with our residents to use water sparingly, and in our engagements with Rainwater, we have emphasized to them the need to make sure that they at least lift the pressure on some of our residents, and they've listened to some of our pleas. I mean, last week we had pressure points in Newzroom, which is east of Tshwane, where residents went for about 3 days without water, and they were threatening to take us to court. And we also had a challenge in Soshanguve, but we managed to plead with them, and they were able to uplift the restriction.
So as things stand, a lot of people have been confused because of the multiple people speaking on the issue in Tshwane. Is the issue that there is no water, or is a systems failure, issues with infrastructure leading to the problems and the necessary decision now to restrict water?
Well, what we have on the records from Rainwater is that they have restricted our flow by 30%. That is, and we sought to inquire from them what is the cause, and they said it's because of consumption in the province of Gauteng. They said the consumption is high, so this is what they say led to this problem. And we have no choice as the city, because we get water from Rainwater. We have no choice but to comply. So we've urged our residents to make sure that they use water sparingly. We said to them that they must make sure that they don't water their gardens using a hose pipe or irrigation systems, not to clean their driveways or patios using a hose pipe, not to wash vehicles using a hose pipe, and also importantly, not to top up or fill up their swimming pools. And so far, Rainwater said they are relatively happy with water usage in Tshwane.
And are people complying with that, the call for them to use water sparingly and avoid waste altogether? Well,
look, I mean, sometimes I don't know whether our communication has reached each and every person, but what you are seeing is our levels of compliance. There are areas there and there. I mean, I drive around the city and I see certain people that are watering their gardens using the hose pipes or the irrigation systems. And we try to make sure that we get to these people. What we are trying to do now, I've spoken to my colleagues at Water and Sanitation. I said they must give us areas where consumption is high, so that our communication begins to be targeted. Instead of appealing to people of Soshanguve when usage, high consumption is in Pretoria East, rather we target those people that we believe are consuming water not sparingly. So that's what we intend doing now. As soon as they give me the list of the suburbs or areas where the reservoirs show that consumption is very high, we will engage with those people directly.
And what would be the action?
Well, the action would be to plead with them and say, look, this thing is serious. There is no water in the province, and we don't generate our own water. The only water that we generate percentage is 18%, which is a drop in the ocean. The rest of the water that we get bulk is bulk supply from Rainwater. And if we don't comply, what we saw in Soshanguve and what we saw in Newzroom is going to be a common feature.
And as things stand today, are all areas, all parts of Tshwane still able to get water from their taps?
As far as we know, yes, everybody is getting water. We've got what we call a telemetry system. Tembi, what it does is that it monitors the water levels in the reservoirs. So as soon as a reservoir begins to go down, then we activate communication from our side, and we communicate with the councillors and ward councillors specifically to say, please alert your constituencies or your residents that the consumption is high and the reservoir levels are dropping. Right. So we do that from time to time.
Selby Bokaba, spokesperson for the Tshwane Metro. Good to have your time, sir.